Okay, let's begin. So, welcome to the show Eat with the Owner.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And today's episode, you can see a little bit
yeah.
closer. So, today's episode 44. So, it's kind of a good number, double the 44.
Okay, perfect.
And also, it's a first time ever, it's Eat with the Owner, and then you are restaurant owner as well. So, owner. So,
Good.
It's kind of double the offer. Double.
Cool.
Great. And your name, obviously?
So my name is Michel.
Michel. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's very Frenchy.
Yeah, it's very French. I grew up, I was born here. I was born in, at the Saint Michel Hospital.
Saint Michel. So that's double also.
Yeah, double. And also the doctor that helped my mother give birth.
Okay.
His name was Dr. Michel Benoit.
Yeah, that's like triple.
And I grew up in the Saint Michel neighborhood, so that's why I like.
Michel is in the east, right?
Yeah, it's in the
Michel.
east. Yeah. Northeast of Montreal. Yeah.
Do they have metro station now?
Yeah, there's a metro station.
Yeah,
there's Saint Michel Metro.
Saint Michel, yeah. Last year or 2 years ago, that whole street was they redid the whole street, right?
Yeah, that's P9. That's a P9 boulevard, and they're doing a metro like right on the corner of Jean Talon and P9.
Because before I lived 17 years almost all the time in the West Island, so I have never been experienced to the eastern part of the Montreal until like 5 years ago. I had the restaurant in Anjou. So so we had the restaurant in Anjou. So the east sometimes took the metro, sometimes drive on the 40 east.
Where at?
Anjou.
Anjou.
Yeah, Anjou. Yeah. The 40 and
what was the name of the restaurant?
It's the same.
On that, but in Anjou?
Yeah. And
so there's actually one right now as well?
Or? No, it failed totally.
Okay.
It was a disaster for me.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's sad because, your food is amazing. I guess maybe in that area, or maybe, how long was that?
We started 2017 and we closed it out 2020. Actually, the best thing ever happened to me, the happiest time is July 2020 during the pandemic. That's the July 22nd, I believe, the day we signed the contract to, the notary to give away the restaurant to another owner.
Oh, yeah?
That's financial burden like crazy. I was really scared, really scared because the Anjou restaurant was a failure from the day one, 2017.
Oh, yeah.
I just tried to change a little bit to try to make it work, and also we saw the pandemic at the beginning, January 2020.
Yeah, true.
And when the thing happened in Wuhan, and then the Chinese population here, they knew something, so they stopped going to restaurant right away in end of January and the beginning of February. So that time since the business was bad already, so we closed the restaurant that time because of the pandemic. And at that time, nobody was going to open a new restaurant. So we paid the rent, everything. So I thought it was really bad.
Yeah.
And we gave it away free, and just for somebody to take it over. And also we gave extra several months of rent to just give it away. But when we signed the thing, like a notary to officially close the thing, I was so happy. At that time, I knew we are not going bankrupt.
Yeah, that's a good relief.
Yeah,
those were hard times because I opened up my second location on January 2020 as well.
Oh, you have two now.
So we opened the first location it was on Jean Talon, and we moved a few blocks away from that restaurant.
Okay.
Because we had a storage problem. It was too busy. We didn't have We didn't have enough space to store food and stuff, so we had to move. But as soon as we moved, the pandemic hit. So it was hard at first, but we adapted quite quickly. Yeah, and a lot of people from the neighborhood already knew our restaurant, so a lot of people kept on ordering and helping us survive.
So your restaurant business it's La Belle Tonki. How to say Tonki?
Yeah, because they say the fussel in French. They call it la soupe tonkinoise.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think they renamed a part of Vietnam. I think after the colonization of the French,
Yeah.
they call it la région de Tonkin. So they call that soup the soup tonkinoise.
Yeah. What is the difference with there's another is either Thai tom yum?
Tom yum, yeah, tom yum is
That's totally Thai, right?
yeah, it's completely Thai.
Yeah, it's very, but that one has more like there's some shoots, like it's like a bamboo shoots, but
Bamboo
it's
shoots.
longer. Is that?
It depends. I'm sure there's a bunch of varieties.
And also a huge shrimp.
Yeah. So I think it's like a sweet and sour,
Yeah.
spicy
Yeah.
soup, like with coconut milk. But I'm sure there's a bunch of.
Yeah. But Tonki is totally different. Tonki,
Yeah, it's
Tonki is the term we use is like is that far or like is that same thing or like a different Tonki?
Tonki, no. Tonki is supposed to be pho. But I'm not Vietnamese. So, but I've learned the history or
Yeah.
some of it. I'm sure there's like a bunch of like different stories.
Okay.
But I heard it was like, it started in the north of Vietnam first.
Okay.
And the influence is very Chinese.
Okay.
So the broth is very light, and the further down south you go, the more spices they add, and there's more. It's more fragrant. The original pho was more neutral, more
Okay.
like either pork flavor, chicken flavor, or beef flavor.
Okay.
So as it moved towards the south, more ingredients were added.
Yeah,
to,
more
to
like
the soup.
exotic or
Like
something.
more exotic. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
we can say something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the long bamboo shoots that in Chinese we call it like aroma bamboo shoots. It translates 香茅.
Okay.
香 literally means like aroma or
Okay.
something kind
香
of.
茅.
Yeah, just smell good.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does have that kind of smell, right?
Yeah. But I feel like bamboo is very particular because not everyone likes the smell of bamboo.
Yeah.
It smells it smells funky.
Yeah. It's I guess it's marinated somewhere, make it like some how they store.
Yeah, how they store it, it
Yeah.
smells different, right?
Yeah,
Because I've never had it fresh. I've always bought it like, well, here in Canada, I've always had it like, it's either canned or it's like sous vide in a liquid.
Yeah, I guess
So I don't know
nobody
what it is.
going to the mountain to
Yeah,
cut
exactly.
those
Well,
things.
probably there is, but I've never had the chance to try it.
Okay, great. Actually, to save some time, we can start ordering.
Okay, perfect. Is there any suggestions? Because I've had like this food and
It's better you try
Oh, yeah?
anything you want. It's
because everything I've had was excellent.
we can order a little bit extra. So
Okay.
so if we don't finish, we
So there's gonna be a lot of food.
take it home.
Is there anything like okay that people don't order, but you're like, you need to try this?
Right now, it's like young people like here. They're very open. A lot of them they like our stuff, like the traditional ones.
Hmm.
And I thought like people won't all that, but some people they really like our the braised pork belly, really greasy.
Yeah,
A lot of them like it.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's really surprising to me. At the beginning, we thought like only General Tao chicken or the Cantonese fried noodle. It's more acceptable, more
Yeah.
like it's safe.
But I feel like because of your menu, the way it's made, and your branding, like people will want to try something different. Because yeah, like you don't have like the specials here and like fried rice and jiaotao or
Yeah, we
You know,
don't have that.
so
That's
cool.
that's why for the lunch it's not a big deal. Or we don't have a lot of lunch customers because
Yeah.
like in the Concordia area, so a lot of combo places.
Yeah.
It's really good buy, good deal. Our deal with comparing to them is I don't recommend.
Okay.
Even myself, like some places, like you get $10 rice included. It's amazing and it's tasting good
Yeah.
as well. So it's like for students, it's
Of
lunch
course.
is quick. For people working downtown and fast.
Yeah, maybe the braised pork for lunch is maybe a little bit
Too
too
heavy.
heavy. Yeah. So you know what?
You can try anything. Actually, have you tried Sichuan spicy pork? That one is a little bit crazy.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Sichuan spicy
Since I
pork.
tried the pork belly last time, yeah, I'm down to try the Sichuan pork. What else is there? everything looks so good. Hey, you know what? You have intestines?
Yeah, this one. It's very
Yeah, let's
popular.
try it. Let's
Okay,
try that.
that one is very popular, to be honest. I am addicted to it. That's why I avoid it, because I kind of myself, I always watch my weight. But if I start, I cannot stop.
Okay. Yeah, like my girlfriend, like every time it's innards or something, she's like, oh, I don't like it. So every time I'm with someone who actually likes
Not
them, I'm
that
like,
like
okay, I want to try that.
Okay. The intestine is pretty good.
Okay. What else? The spicy shrimp, maybe?
Yeah, that's very, very safe choice.
It's a safe choice. I don't want safe. I want something like I won't try somewhere else.
You want this one? Do you want to try some chili oil thing?
Yeah, sure.
That's very spicy.
It's the fish. I've had that last time. It's really good.
Yeah, fish or beef, like the same way of cooking.
Man, I don't want to order too much because what is the fish with sauce a la tomate?
That one is good. I guess it's
tomato sauce.
Not very traditional Chinese, but it's popular. It's good. It's a tomato sauce, and then you deep fry the fish fillet.
I'm curious to try it.
Yeah, we tried that one.
And maybe a vegetable dish.
Vegetable, you can.
I love eggplant. I've had that.
Green beans always recommend green beans.
Yeah, that was excellent.
We can do the green beans.
Let's try the green beans because I've had it last time and I think it's excellent.
I always like green beans.
Oh, I didn't notice you had like noodle dishes as well.
Yeah, we can do one noodle.
Okay, one noodle. Man, that's gonna be a lot of food.
We try our best.
Okay.
The udon is udon is the only one on the noodle is like both accepted by Chinese customers and people not local. Yeah, udon is the thing.
Every time I have udon somewhere, or especially sautéed, I'm not a fan, but you know, I'll give it a try.
It's light. This udon actually is not real udon. The Japanese udon is more translucent, the better quality, I guess. But this one is Shanghai noodle. It's like a little bit.
It's
a little bit coarse. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that. The Japanese udon is kind of the way they do it, kind of more kind of delicate or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm down to try it.
Okay, you want chicken, beef, or shrimp? It's
let's try beef.
Beef. Okay, great.
In Cambodia, there's something very popular. It's called lot cha. It's like the same style of noodles. I think it's made with tapioca starch.
Okay.
And they stir fry it with like any type of meat. And yeah, what we appreciate about it, especially the wok hei.
Okay.
Like the smell of the,
you know the wok hei.
Yeah. The smell of the not burnt. It's I don't know how we call it. It's the char. Yeah. It's a smoky.
Yeah. The way you speak wok hei, do you speak Cantonese as well?
No, I don't speak Cantonese.
Because that's totally Cantonese pronunciation.
Oh, yeah? Okay, no, it's just every time I love food. Yeah. So every time I hear something or someone say it the proper way, I'm trying to replicate and try to remember. Yeah,
that's like it's the vaporing whatever from the hot iron, right?
Yeah.
The wok. So in the Mandarin we call it a guo qi, the same thing. Yeah, guo qi means vapor. Okay. The guo qi, yeah.
Nice.
Guo is the wok.
Guo.
Yeah. So in one video I explain it's like Egypt is a country air. Country, the same pronunciation is a guo is country.
Okay.
Guojia, guo is like in Chinese guo, the same pronunciation like a wok. So country wok, the same pronunciation.
Country wok, okay.
Yeah. So the country air.
Country air, okay.
Air is the qi.
Yeah, qi. Okay.
Yeah, it's easier. Country air.
So you speak Mandarin and Cantonese?
Cantonese is very, very difficult for me.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah, Cantonese is not easy.
No.
It's very fast, and also they have, I guess they have 9 tones, whatever.
9 tones.
Yeah, in Mandarin you have 4. They have 9 in Mandarin.
So it's not different dialects. It's tones. You say.
It's tones dialect too. The way they organize the sentence is also different. It's like English. Sometimes they reverse. They say something first and then something after. It's Mandarin. We say this order, like word order. Sometimes Cantonese they do the same thing. They reverse. They put something like something supposed to be the back. They put in the front.
Okay.
To say that way.
Okay, I understand.
It's very different from Mandarin. Very difficult for me to spend a lot of time to let me get the order downstairs.
And I guess we should grab some rice to eat with the food, or
it's up to you. Just
one
one
rice.
Yeah, I guess you have the noodle already.
Okay.
Just one. Okay. Yeah, the camera will continue. Okay.
Super excited. The food is great here. You need to come and try. I think he's a fast runner. How much time is it going to take him to drop the order and come back? Let's see. Let's try to time it.
Let's see.
Damn, he's already back.
Yeah, I'm
Back
running.
like 20 seconds.
in the restaurant, I'm always running.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know. It looks like this kind of business is like efficiency.
Of course. Do you play sports, or running at the restaurant is one of your sports?
I play soccer, but I haven't played. Actually, last Saturday, 2 days ago, last Saturday night, and the first time for this winter. I play every winter before.
Oh yeah.
So this year was a
So you
little
play
bit
indoors?
Yeah. In Lachine.
Lachine, okay.
So it's having a restaurant is crazy for me.
So you're one of the owners? Is there another owner? Is there like?
No, it's
is it
only
a partnership?
us, only me and my wife.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be the president, CEO. My wife was the vice president.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes vice president make decisions over president.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, it's very. I told her like, let's do this way, but she's not listening. I told her like, I'm the president, you are the VP, but somehow the structure is not working perfectly.
Sometimes the VP has better ideas than the president. Here.
Okay. So as usual, I always actually, what's your last name though?
Lim. L-I-M. Yeah.
That's like very Chinese name.
It's a very Chinese name.
Yeah.
I
You know
think
how to write is the two words, right? Double words.
No, what is that? Double words?
Yeah, this little, if I'm guessing right, and this is a family name very popular in the southern. Is like this wood, and you have two words together is one character as well. This means wood. So
Okay.
that's wood together is a forest.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
That means a forest, the family name. If I'm guessing right,
Okay.
because the spelling of the translate to letters could be
that's good to know.
very popular in southern. Probably sometimes the Cambodia and also Vietnam, a lot of Chinese immigrants like decades ago, even century ago, they moved there.
I heard like a lot of the Chinese people who live in Cambodia or Techiu. Is that something you were familiar with? It's they speak a different dialect of Chinese. They speak Techiu, and a lot of Chinese brought their heritage and culture to Cambodia as well. So I think it's my grandfather who has like Chinese. On my dad's side, who was a.
You see, that's the funny
Chinese
thing.
family.
Yeah, just a little bit off topic. The Chinese, interesting about Chinese characters. So there's two words, right? So this totally one character wood, right? You put two means like a little forest. If you put three together, it means forest as well. It just means bigger.
A big forest. Okay.
If you really want to express,
How do you spell this?
sin. This called lin, Lin in Mandarin.
Okay.
So that's why lim probably is the same because they changed the pronunciation a little bit, spelling. So there's sin and a lin. Usually they want, when you see a forest, you put these two together. So like a sinling means a forest. Two characters together is like a sinling together. So you see 5 total, 5 words.
Okay.
So that impression, if you see it, it must be a lot of wood.
Okay.
So that's forest. We call sinling.
Sinling.
Yeah, sinling means forest.
Nice.
But if you use sin or ling, people can figure out it's about woods.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you put, let's say, Chinese characters
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
like the ensemble, or can I say this? The group of signs can mean
Usually two together.
two together.
Yeah, two will complete a meaning. One
Okay.
you have to guess because it depends on this character. Gonna go with another character to make a complete meaning.
Okay.
Yeah. So normally 2 or 3 together. Usually two characters together, like singing. Just if you don't tell people like to say forest, you don't tell people say sen or ling. You don't say that. You usually have two together
Okay.
to make it a little bit firm.
Okay.
To say sending, yeah. Sending, everybody knows sending is a forest.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
the way they put together is like a lot of words.
Yeah. I don't know much about like Chinese writing, so that's interesting.
Great. And like how do you what year you were born here?
I was born in 1985.
Wow, that's 6 years younger. I'm 79, so
Right.
6 years younger than me. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So I'm 37 today.
Yeah. Today, birthday? No.
No, not today.
Yeah.
It's birthday. But,
Yeah. Great.
the
So.
actual age.
So, like growing up here, like how is that? Like at that time, like 85. So, being an Asian, did you feel a little bit not like open today, right? Today is easier.
Oh yeah, today is way easier. Growing up here, it wasn't necessarily difficult, but I mean, it's your identity. Like, you feel not like an outcast, but you know that you're different, and sometimes that difference you would want to put it aside a little bit if there's not a lot of people that look like you where you grew up or where you grow up. So I always thought I was Cambodian growing up, but then when I went to Cambodia
Yeah.
like 7 years ago, I realized how much I am like Quebecois.
Yeah, not so
'Cause,
much Cambodian.
No, exactly, because all my cultural references, music, television, jokes,
Yeah.
we all laugh about different things.
Yeah.
And the way we structure our phrases or how we approach people is completely
Totally.
different. So even though I speak some Cambodian, I still, once you're there, you realize.
But
You
if
are-
you're pretty good at the first language, Cambodian, right?
I'm okay. I do small talk.
Okay.
I can't read Cambodian.
But do you follow the culture there, the pop culture?
No, I
there?
don't follow
Okay,
pop
okay.
culture, so I'm very American too.
Okay.
So that's why once you're there, you realize how much
Yeah,
you are not.
You're outsider.
Yeah, you're an outsider. Yeah, you're a foreigner.
Yeah, you're foreigner.
Yeah, although you speak the language, you're a foreigner.
Both your parents are from Cambodia.
Yeah, both my parents are from Cambodia. Yeah,
So in your house, you.
I speak Cambodian.
Yeah.
We eat very Cambodian at home. But my parents are very curious too, so they make spaghetti at home. Pâté chinois.
Okay, but how did they what age did they move here? Like they must be like the first. They were
yeah.
the first generation.
I think they were in their 30s or late 20s when they were here.
Wow.
So they left Cambodia because of the genocide that happened.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
They didn't come here by choice.
oh, there's a famous called Red something the movement.
Yeah, the
right?
Khmer Rouge.
Yeah, Khmer Rouge. Yeah,
The Khmer
Khmer Rouge.
Rouge.
Yeah, Rouge. That's a French. Yeah, I only know that in Chinese. Yeah,
Okay.
in Chinese, like literally means 红色 is red something. Khmer Rouge.
Okay, Khmer Rouge.
And that's a plant, right? It's the samhuj, the first one means it's a kind of plant, right?
A plant.
Yeah,
Khmer.
yeah.
Khmer, it means
it's a tree.
people from Cambodia.
Oh, no.
They call it the Khmer people.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in Chinese we call it it's kind of a plant, the kind of a tree. So the red, some kind of special tree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
To the
It's
to
kind
name the people the Khmer Rouge.
of that kind of movement.
Oh, that kind of movement. Okay, yeah, that would make sense. I guess.
Because that's there's kind of a movement or this. Maybe I'm wrong, but that tree very special in the very southern China. One or two provinces they have that kind of. It's mystery kind of to the people not from southern Fujian or
Okay.
Guangdong province. and we never saw that kind of tree, but
Okay.
we saw it on movie. Like we heard it
Okay,
in movie
okay.
to see that kind of a special tree.
Okay. So they would associate that movement with that tree from the south.
The 4 characters red and then something.
Okay. But yeah, it was really hard times for.
So they moved
Cambodia.
here. So they had some degree of education or the
Yeah,
professional.
my dad had some education, but when the Khmer Rouge came, it was a pretty traumatizing moment in the history of Cambodia because they tried to eliminate all culture.
Okay.
So everyone who were students, doctors,
Some
teachers,
education,
they killed them because those people, I feel like, or I think they killed them because smarter people, educated people are more rebellious than like people who are
more difficult to manage.
Exactly. So they
that's a universal rule.
Yeah. So they eliminated all of them. So it was very it destabilized the Cambodian culture and history and everything. They tried to eliminate everything. So yeah, it was really a terrible time of history in Cambodia.
Okay. Do you have siblings?
Yes, I do have a sibling. I have an older sister. Okay. She's 5 years older than me. She was born in Cambodia. Not in Cambodia. She was born in a refugee camp.
Okay, on the way here.
Yeah, exactly. So they were in a refugee camp just before coming here. So
your family must really appreciate the generosity of Canada government, right? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I heard stories from Vietnam as well. That generation, the boat people, they really appreciate like the kind of the kindness of as a nation. Yeah, like open up the welcome people. They kind of have no place to go. Yeah, that's really amazing. Yeah, man. So what about you? Why are you here? Why did you come here? About 17 years ago, I guess. Like me, I work in IT, so I work in the computer science. My background is computer science, so it was easy I graduated 2001. Was easy for me. Like I graduated from a kind of top 10, top 11 university in China, so pretty good one. I was kind of smart ass at the beginning. So, smart ass. So it's easy at that time. It was booming. The information technology, those kind of, you get tons of jobs, like 2001 in China at that time. So I ended up in a very good company. Okay. So what are you doing in the restaurant business? It's a kind of long story. But all the time, I only started working in the restaurant 3 years ago full time, during the pandemic. Okay, so you still had a job as an IT? Yeah, exactly. So the restaurant had 9 years ago. So for 6 years, I was doing the full-time IT job and then the restaurant on the side. So I was playing safe financially. So I'm always, even today, you see I'm not a business person at all. That's why that's why you have a vice president. That's your wife. It's more of a business. Is she? Both of us, we did not have any experience. That's why we're kind of silly, to be honest. It's silly. Even today, I have a lot of ideas. I admire people put the action into ideas, but myself, I cannot do it. But I know who's really good. I admire people. They really kind of put a lot of action. Yeah. But me, I feel like I'm the same. I'm not necessarily a business person. But you're really successful. Your restaurant is last time we chatted, like when you were eating inside the restaurant. I searched your restaurant. It's amazing. Actually, it is amazing. It's that's if your restaurant get that popular, and that's already for me. I'm gonna sit down there, smile every day. Oh yeah, but I am definitely blessed. But yeah, we worked hard, and like you create a community, and people then they come and they support you. Yeah, for super me, grateful. Yeah, for me, that's back to me. It's playing really safe. So 6 years, I was having like stable job, and then like on the side my wife was running the restaurant. So I just came to help like after 5 o'clock. So all the weekend. and so financially it was great to the family. So I have my regular weekly paycheck, and as long as the restaurant was not losing money, first several months was scary. So I did not know how to cook at all. I did not have business experience at all. So we just kind of silly, and we opened one. The first few months was scary. We thought we're gonna lose this much money every month because we start from zero, new name, new recipe. We did not know the recipe either. New menu. So we thought we were gonna lose a little bit for the first month or two when we were kind of getting our customers, but was way worse than what I thought. We thought the rate we're burning money like that, my paycheck won't cover. Like
that's scary.
But it was really bad. Like that's why we were super lucky. Super lucky. The background, me growing up in a poor village, I really do a lot of work when I was a kid. So poor. So that kind of like tenacity or like the experience of the hard labor, it really did help. Otherwise, people would any kid, like any people growing up like in a city, big city, did not experience that hard physical labor. Probably would have gave up long time ago.
Yeah, I understand, because when I opened up the first location, I didn't have the money for it. I just had an opportunity. So my partner's mom owned the restaurant, but it was a business in decline. So I just went there to help out, and then she offered to take over the restaurant with her son. She just said, "Why don't you just take it and do whatever you want with it?"
Really, that was when?
That was like 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago.
So your restaurant only started 6 years ago?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So it was really hard.
So almost 6. So do you have celebration of that?
Yeah, of course, in the summertime. In July.
Oh,
in July is going to be the 6th year. So yeah, I just had an opportunity because I didn't have the money to open up a restaurant. It wasn't even in my plans.
But did you have experience cooking? You must.
Oh yeah. I went to culinary school.
No wonder you kind of do well. I had no experience. That's why I'm still struggling.
Hey, your food is amazing. So
but I really relying on the people in the kitchen. I have no clue. But I'm really kind of last 3 years. I work the front, back, everywhere. I help. I'm a good helper. I help everywhere. I help in the front. And
well, you have to if you don't have the technique to learn. But I'm sure you know how to make some of your dishes now.
Yeah, this one I can cook. This one I can cook. This one never touched.
Okay. So I can dig in?
Yeah.
Looks so good. Look, this is pepper, right?
Yeah, that's a little bit black pepper.
I love everything peppery. Food here is amazing, man. I love going to Chinese restaurants and any restaurant, but when you try to serve something that is more authentic to your style and what you like to make as well in terms of food and flavors and textures too.
I guess right now on our menu, I always had the idea to have the whole menu is traditional Chinese, but the first day, the 9 years ago when I was working, my wife, me, and the chef who were talking and discussing what do we put on the menu. So at the beginning I was saying let's do all traditional, nothing genital chickens, that kind of stuff. So both of them they kind of saying no to the idea because you cannot start at all without genital chicken and kind of orange beef, that kind of stuff.
Like this style of dish.
Yeah. But this one, I guess it's a mix. Other restaurants, they don't cook. Even the North American Chinese restaurant, I don't think they cook the fish like this one. It's kind of I don't know, where did we get this?
I guess it's a little bit Chinese American.
Yeah, it's kind of mixed.
But honestly, I don't know anyone who doesn't like these flavors. Sweet and sour with crunchy and fried textures. Everyone loves this, even if it's not traditional. I love it.
after having the Chinese restaurant here, like with genital chicken something. Right now, I'm eating everything, like even the genital chicken. And there's some of the not very traditional Chinese.
Mhm.
I'm open to everything now, and I enjoy the genital chicken here too.
Yeah, because it's great. I love how you in your menu how you have a little quote every time or
Yeah.
a story about the dish.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
The
It gives-
review, the review.
And it gives some personality.
And
To
also,
your
it's,
restaurant.
it's kind of very natural for me because I was not working the restaurant, so that's why I have as an outsider to as a customer perspective to see like how's this one doing or something like. Especially even today, the pork strips is still I don't like it, to be honest. Because I have the better version, a lot better version in university time. In the Tianjin University, I graduated, so. The pork strips, I guess, even today, maybe the most ordered dish in China, I guess, because it's so famous and it's so not easy to cook. It's just like very popular. Every restaurant.
It's easy to cook or not easy to cook?
It's so well known. But every region they
make
put
their own style.
Yeah, they have their own style. Like in Tianjin specifically, a little bit sweet. Also, they have the carrot julienne. They put a carrot julienne in Tianjin, in Sichuan province where it's originated. So that the copyright is from Sichuan, that dish.
Okay.
The patent supposed to belong to Sichuan, but they don't have carrot. They don't add the carrot julienne. It's not that sweet, I believe. But in Tianjin version, it's so amazing.
So you said pork strip?
Yeah, pork strips.
Which part of the pork is it?
I guess it's short.
Short rib.
Yeah, not short rib. It's called. When I ordered with the supplier, we always use the.
Is it with the bone or
without bone? Without
bone.
It's mostly lean, but little bit fat. Only a tip or some like 1/10 of that is a little bit fat.
Okay.
And we cut them into slices first, and then cut again to be the strips.
Okay.
Basically a little bit like this.
Okay. So you said here it's not your favorite because it's
not that very.
Because you have a souvenir of what it tastes like
In Tianjin.
Okay.
But even not close to what Sichuan does. Sichuan is the original place. That's why Sichuan food is so famous because they kind of Sichuan cuisine is the only one my theory why they're so popular is not only they're spicy. The Hunan is more spicy. It's spicier than Sichuan food.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. But Sichuan they have the unique. They put the ma is the Sichuan peppercorn.
Yeah.
That give you the numbness to numb your lips.
Yeah.
So that's the signature of Sichuan.
Sichuan food. Yeah.
But also.
What?
So.
We ordered this too?
Yeah. Spicy pork, Sichuan spicy pork.
Oh my God.
So we have to finish everything. We try. But Sichuan, I think the reason they became very popular because the ingredients they use is everyday ingredients, not high end. So it's more accessible to the ordinary families, to the regular folks. So the ingredients not expensive. Some even leftovers. A lot of the intestines or the organs, they use some of them. They're not. The story is like there's a river from Tibet or something high plateau, the same river, like flowing from high plateau region to Sichuan.
Okay.
So they don't use the intestines or in organs, so they just throw in the river. So they flow to the Sichuan. So some people pick up that they cook it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the story.
Yeah, that's what I was told. Maybe on the Wikipedia you can find that too. So the way they use very regular, like cheap or like regular,
but they make it so
delicious. So delicious. That's how to reach the most people. A lot of population to If you have seafood is so high and so expensive, you cannot eat that every day. You just cannot afford. So Sichuan, that's why it's so popular.
That's why I feel like these type of foods. It's like. It's food for the people, so everyone can
Afford, yeah.
afford and appreciate. So you turn it into something delicious. So a lot of the American history, the culinary history, is food that was cooked by a lot of by the slaves that were here. So I feel like a lot of the American culinary history is from people who were brought here. So African influence, Indian, native. So a lot of things come from elsewhere, and they call it soul food because it's made to feed the people, you know. So that's why maybe I think Sichuanese food is more accessible because it's made for
Also
everyone.
Also they have them like Sichuan peppercorn, other kind of special ingredient, also techniques. They marinate a lot. They do a lot of marination. They marinate a lot, and then they air dry a lot of stuff. The sausage, they have the special sausage. Like you have Italian sausage. The Sichuan people does the same thing. In the winter, they just hung up those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And even like not only sausage, also the meat itself. And it's amazing. They smoke them too.
Yeah.
And the Sichuan, I guess the best cuisine, the people knows most about cooking or the cuisine is people in Sichuan. You always respect them. If we have friends from Chengdu, the capital of Sichuan province, we always look up them. You guys must, everybody, you and your wife must know how to cook.
Yeah, it's a very common thing that people know how to cook.
Yeah, they have always, the people from Chengdu, they live in Montreal. Every family, they have their specialty. And probably they have some pieces of the kind of smoked meat or in their fridge or somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
They always have their little thing. Like the Italian people, they have their tomato sauce. They make their tomato sauce at home. The Sichuan people living everywhere in the world, they have some secrets.
I was watching the TV show on Netflix. It's called Flavorful Origins, and it's like different parts of China, villages and stuff. It's a lot of food that or ingredients that I'm familiar with, but I had no idea it was prepared that way somewhere in China, just like cured meats and stuff like that we see a lot of Europeans do. I saw in that TV show how one region in China, they use olives, but the way they use them is completely different from the Italians. It's so interesting to see how those ingredients traveled, and the way you interpret them is completely different from a country, like from one region to another region, from country to country. It's that's why I love food. It's just infinite possibilities.
I guess about 10 years ago, there was a documentary kind of reality show, or the culinary cooking show. It's called I don't know the English, probably the literal translation would be like the Chinese food on tongue tips. Like
on what?
The tongue tips, the tip of tongue. Is the translation, but it's in Chinese. It runs several seasons. So every season episode, they go to a specific region to China somewhere, and then to showcase how it's made, some food. It's called the tongue tips, the Chinese food on tongue tips. It's super popular. About 10 years ago, they ran several seasons. So, but I was learning English all the time, so I did not watch that show. But a lot of Chinese people have. So the people, they really like a big masterpiece of show how different areas they prepare specific kind of food. But you don't see them in restaurant because I guess it's so difficult to do that in a large volume.
Yeah.
So the restaurant setup is very different from, you have to be fast or the serving. But that show was a huge success.
I love how food has so much history and how much variety there is. It's just so many ways to interpret.
Not only China, everywhere. Every country have their special. So that's why nowadays, if people still have the bias or stereotype of food, it's kind of silly.
Yeah.
You you don't want to miss some chances. You always try different food, even it's very different, very foreign to you, but the people like the people living there for centuries, they must have their own unique way of cooking food, right? So you kind of don't want to miss out the opportunity to try their kind of stuff.
That's why sometimes I'm mad when I hear some cooks or let's say more, how can I say this, American or European way of thinking, like, do you have your foundation?
Yeah.
But foundation is subjective because
exactly.
There's so many foundations, There's like, do you know how to use a wok? Like, no, so you don't know your foundation. But it's subjective because French people institutionalized cooking, and there's like sauces that you need to know, which is great. I think it's amazing foundation, but you cannot tell a cook that they don't know food because they don't know these sauces, because some of those cooks can't do these dishes,
Yeah.
So I find it arrogant to say that, oh, you don't know your basics. No, you don't know your basics. These are basics as well. You need to learn. But yeah, just be more open-minded. I feel like people need to stop being so narrow-minded and think like that there's just so many traditions and styles and ways to cook things.
A lot of time I try different cuisines. Some of them really, after trying, really don't like it. But but it's not a big deal. And you try the next one. You always find something you like. It's not guaranteed you try everything you like. But you always try. That's good, huh?
It's so good. But like people just, the idea of intestine, they're like,
this one is very popular, like among Chinese customers. I said in the review, probably the review I put on the web, I never tried this before having the restaurant.
What?
Because myself, it's very contradictory. Because I'm growing up so poor, I'm supposed to appreciate those kind of meat, expensive ones. But I kind of avoid organs like for a lot of time, a long time. But then having the first menu for several, I guess, first 5 years, we did not have this at all on the menu. So a lot of Chinese customers say, you have to have this. So after several years, I say, okay, let's put it on. And then I tried several times. It's addicted. So I eat a lot of this as well in the restaurant. Never, but a lot of demands from Chinese customers.
So growing up here, I almost feel like pressured to not how can I say this? Sorry, my French is way better, so that's why when I think, I think a lot when I speak English. So I feel like there's some pressure that you're not supposed to like these growing up here.
Yeah, the
organs. Like, ew, you like this? Oh, you're nasty. You people are nasty. But I'm like, man, I don't know. My parents, like, every time they go to the Asian market and there's like cuts like lungs, kidney, whatever, they buy it. Sometimes they just boil it, and then we chop it up like cold cuts, like charcuterie.
Okay. The
plateau, like like all cold cuts, and it's like it's not appealing because it's not red.
Yeah,
it's like gray,
dark.
White, whatever. And then there's a sauce, a dipping sauce. It's amazing.
My in-laws, especially my father-in-law, like he likes that a lot, that kind of stuff. But me growing up, somehow I'm not a big fan of that at all. My own grandma, who passed away a few years ago, but that time was a treat. Like they have a whole set of organs. Like in the village, only you raise pigs, only the Chinese New Year time. Like you have village maybe some 100 households. But you always have like 15 households, 15 families, they share one pig. So this year will be this family kill one pig, kind of one, and then you can on a bookkeeping thing, like you write down who's taking how many kilos of, like even the rear leg or the hind leg or the front leg or some kind of part of. You always keep that which family of this,
Oh yeah.
want that, which family have like the belly for like 20 kilos or 5 kilos of belly, like that kind of stuff. And then my father, who's great for his own mother, so he always like order the whole set of the intestine from the lung and the windpipe to the lung, and then that kind of the whole thing. And then you will see hung there. Like when one pig was killed, I was a kid, and then you see that's for my
So
grandma.
it was traumatizing for you, or
No, not at all.
Good.
Real tough. Like growing. That's why the when you grow up, the environment's gonna affect you a lot. As a kid, we seen the killing of pigs or that kind of stuff. So for us, was very
common.
Yeah. And we even like the bladder for the pigs. And when they kill the pig for the whole village or a few families, and then the butcher gonna give the bladder to the kids to play at the ball. So
whoa.
yeah. So we had no ball, like so poor. We had nothing. So the whole my life, I never have any toy. My whole life, never had any toy. So it's just kind of you grow up like helping your parents, like doing the physical labor. That's all. And then like 6, 7, 5 years ago, you talk to the butcher to be able to have the bladder.
So you can give to your kids and.
No, we are the kids. We talk to them.
You kids.
Yeah. Ourselves, like with several kids, with 2 or 3. The boys, the girls, they were not into that. But boys, you're gonna blow that, like have the air inside, and then we kick it like a ball.
Whoa.
Yeah. So after a day, so it's a deflate. You're gonna deflate a little bit, and then it's good for 1 day or 2, and then after that we lost interest or whatever.
Yeah.
What happened to that bladder? I'm not sure. I don't remember that. But every year, you will have that kind of stuff. But back to the intestines, and then when they boil, like I still remember the memory when I was a few years old. So we have the huge wok. So the village.
Hey, you're not eating much.
I will help. I will catch up. So the whole setup of the kitchen in the village is gonna be, you have 2 huge wok like this, and you burn on the other end. You burn the hay, whatever thing, the stalks.
Oh, it's not spicy.
So it's like the huge one. So like when you boil that, kind of the whole set of the organs, and then you put the windpipe, whatever the thing on the top. So when you boil, that have foam, the bubble,
that comes out.
Yeah, comes out like. But that's a treat for my grandma. So
the foam?
No, the
whole thing. Okay.
So after the boil, they kind of they do some soups with you cut up and then boil soup with that. That can last a month or 2, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. So
eating it like this.
Yeah. Every day, a little bit, make a soup. Because in Chinese culture, you always like taking care of your parents, like old parents. So that's my father was really traditional. So she's treating her mom really amazingly.
Nice.
So the respect for the whole family as a kid, me, like we have to be super respectful to our grandparents. Otherwise, we're gonna be beaten.
Yeah, us too. Be very respectful to your grandparents. So delicious. So, me growing up, I didn't realize until I went to culinary school that I was very fortunate to have a mother that cooks really well. And then I grew up in a neighborhood where my neighbors were Italian. We went to eat there for Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter, Christmas. So growing up, I ate a lot of very delicious foods. And as a kid, you take it for granted. You're just like, oh, it's just my normal life, you know? Yeah. But then when I went to culinary school, I realized, man, my mom is a great cook. She knows so much different techniques. She knows fermentation. She knows how to dry age. So many different techniques. And later...
That's not common right now, right?
No, it's not as common.
You don't prepare that way. It takes a lot of time and space.
And also from, when you go to the temple,
Yeah.
when there's celebrations, we bring food to the monks. So very small dishes, so they can just, at the end of the ceremony, they can eat whatever. But sometimes, most of the times, the monks, they eat until they're kind of full.
Yeah.
So they eat very little. So they just eat enough to be satisfied, and then they give the rest of the food to everyone else. So we grab the foods. So I would grab the food from whatever was left, and every time I tried the foods, and I would put it in my mouth and think, is it good? Is it as good as my mom's? And I realized later that, man, it's not because everyone appreciates their mom's cooking better. I'm pretty critique about food, and if my mom makes something that's not as delicious, I will let her know. And same thing, like she's the hardest critique for my food as well. So I will let her know. But I realized, man, like the food she's making is very delicious. And once, because when I went to culinary school, I didn't even know. My mom told me that her dad was like the chef for the village. So every time there would be wedding celebrations, he would cook a lot of food for everyone.
Okay.
So she would bring that memory back here, and she made the food from whatever she remembered growing up, So that's why I'm like, that's why you know so much. Your dad was, a chef.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I think my palate or the way that I interpret food is based off all those memories that I have. So when I went to culinary school, I realized that I have these tools already.
That's good.
Some of my other friends, when they went to school, their parents were terrible cooks, so they don't have very good references of like what tastes good.
Yeah.
So I think I'm very
So a little bit
lucky.
ahead already.
Yeah, I think I was a little bit ahead. But when I grew up, presentation and food was always, you make a food, you put it at the table, and you grab. It's not like, like more modern. How can I say this? I guess modern cuisine where they use tongs to place things.
Yeah.
Like that's not my specialty. So yeah, this is the food that I really enjoy, and I really enjoy.
For me, it's not for presentation. Maybe for me, it's not there yet. Maybe if I have like 20 years experience, maybe I will. Right now, I'm still doing the fundamental thing, like basics. I'm taking it slowly myself. I would say one day I'm a cook as well. I'm just taking my time to get more experience in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So because I'm IT engineer, so I have no experience at all.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the pandemic forced me to, full time. So it's I'm taking it slowly to get the fundamental, to see to really feel it, put my hours.
Yeah.
I have to put my hours. I don't expect I can be really good cooking for at least few years, but I'm learning every day just to be working along with cooks, helping here or there.
Mm-hmm.
So you get more. The time gonna give you a lot of stuff, experience. But you mentioned you went to the church, like temple, like your family believe in the Buddhism, or a lot of people in the Asia, the Buddhism is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't go. We don't go to the temple.
Yeah, I don't go as often as I should, but I feel like going to the temple, it's not necessarily believing in God. It's not that.
But your parents, they kind of a believer of Buddhism, right?
Yeah, but I feel like it's more spirituality. It's not necessarily believing in one entity. And
my understanding of Buddhism is just doing good, right?
Exactly.
It's a karma thing. Karma, right?
Yeah, exactly. Reincarnation as well. Believe in that. Doing good to people, so karma will bring you good as well. Be very giving. Always be generous.
Even in China right now, I don't think there's a lot of real temples. It's a very general idea of Buddhism. People like, you don't go to temple. I've never been to any temple, but a lot of people they all say like in China they generally they believe in Buddhism.
Okay, I'm curious. Is this spam?
Yeah. With spam, yeah.
You know, it was so uncommon for me, but when I went to Asia, it's everywhere.
Yeah. Spam is
Like just
I guess it's
processed
invented in
meat.
United States. Yeah, it's we saw that in Vietnam War. Like American soldiers have spam. Somehow it's kind of so popular in China.
It worked really well because the texture, the saltiness.
Yeah.
So that's what I think it's very common in Asian cuisine in general is textures. We love different textures.
Yeah. It's kind of the master chef or the really good cooks. They all have this kind of thing. You have to pay attention to this texture, and then that kind of presentation or the smell, aroma, the kind of
So
how the heat is the biggest thing because we use the the wok and then the direct heating from the natural gas. It's super hot, and then if you cook it 5 seconds like longer, and then something gonna be ruined.
yeah,
So it's pretty hot. It's crazy.
because the longer it sits, like a vegetable or something,
Yeah.
then the water will come out.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, there must be real theory, but it's a lot of cooks they don't talk about the theory, the food science, but they kind of somehow by experience they know. Like you just can sit on like walk like a stove for so much time, so many seconds.
Mhm.
So if you do more and if the water comes out, whatever, and then it's not delicious.
Very technical.
Yeah, that's why the experience it's the older way of cooking. The masters or the chefs or the top head cooks, they don't teach other people. They always keep their secrets. Yeah, it's kind of their own style.
It's either they keep their secrets or they don't know. They're not really good teachers,
Or
so they don't know
that
how
could
to
be true.
explain
Yeah,
it. They
that
just
could be true.
they just do it.
I guess we need the videos. I guess videos to really kind of say like, okay, if we cook like this is the result, and how do you do it? And then you have to go back to frame by frame. Okay, so how much time on this kind of stage? How much time another stage? When do you also the sequence, the order you put the different ingredients that matters a lot as well. They always say the vinegar is the last one because the vinegar gonna evaporate.
Yeah.
So and also the seasoning oil always the last because it does not work
It's not
with
supposed to be
heat.
cooked.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the basic like stuff you're supposed to know. But some people cooking a lot of years, they don't know. They're cooking the.
Because I think for me, everything makes sense. But then let's say I see one of my cooks that has less experience.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you don't do that. I'm like, sometimes I don't realize that it's not common sense to everyone. So I need to explain everything.
And the spring onion, you don't put in earlier, right? Spring onion. Some stuff.
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
It depends on what you want,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It depends on what you want, the effect at the end.
Mm-hmm. So, weirdly, before I was into cooking and everything, the restaurant, I was a professional dancer. I was a street dancer. I was teaching dance. I was traveling to compete.
That's why your Instagram is so dynamic. That's crazy. That's why you guys like. I saw when I do some, I'm really boring or like nothing artistic, so I just go straight forward, no editing, no nothing, and everything on our business side is looking so like very very kind of original, nothing kind of polished at all.
But that works too. That's your personality. I think it works.
Just saved me time and money, saved me everything. And I don't want to go extra to find somebody really can do this and then pay them to do polishing. It's but you are so natural there. That's why you have lot of the music there. Everything looks really appealing. That's the day of social media.
Yeah, but I feel like by the way, thank you. But it's common for me. It's
Yeah,
just
it's,
my
yeah,
everyday
it's
life.
very, yeah, exactly. So just being natural you, it's real you.
Yeah.
Being boring is natural me. Seriously. So
No, you're not boring. You have a lot of stories. You have a lot of things to say.
I have a lot of ideas, you know. I have crazy ideas, but I just kind of very conservative myself, not putting real actions, nothing. I have a lot of theories, a lot of ideas to make a successful business or to kind of move forward a career, but just myself, I cannot do it. But I see people really have the guts, whatever, like really show the results. I really admire people achieve something. That's my thing. I know why you succeeded, but I just cannot copy because I'm not that material. But I'm really, a lot of time, I think myself is a good consultant because I observe things really carefully. So I know how to succeed, but unfortunately, I cannot succeed. But I can tell or I can advise other people to succeed. So I have a lot of crazy theory.
Well, that's why I'm not on my own. I have a partner that's very good on that side as well. So
it's like your restaurant is like two partners.
Yeah, two partners.
That's easier to manage.
It's easy, but it's not easy because we have our own ways of seeing things. But communication is really key.
Yeah,
it's so
really
important.
key. Yeah. But for our cuisine, like or our business model, like a lot of our friends saying like the small Chinese restaurant, if you partner with another family or something, most probably end up bad relationship. Most probably. For me, it's like it's at the beginning I have a very good friend like trying to be doing IT as well. So we were discussing having this restaurant together, so two families, and they end up like trying not to like. And we're so lucky to like saying like it's too complicated because me and my wife have two, and then him and his wife, so four people, and then like two guys. We thought we were bosses, but the real boss is two strings pull like at the back, so two wives, and then four people. And then how do you make decisions? And it will be really
when there's too many people, it's just,
exactly. It's a bad recipe.
You don't know who to listen to.
Yeah, exactly. Some like lot of like in China, a lot of wives they're pretty strong-willed, so they're pretty tough. So like I said, the real boss is not me. Even she's not working here daily, but sometimes when she comes here, let's do this change. Okay, but you are not in the restaurant every day. But somehow she's, just here. I think this is, we should do this way. Okay, I have to explain why it may not be that good idea, politely, respectfully, and then carefully to present the reasoning behind, to say like why we're doing this way so far. Let's not change right away.
Yeah, even with just my partner, sometimes it's we didn't always see eye to eye on certain things, but the best way is to talk it out. And as long as it's the best for the business, we need to lean towards that direction. But discussing about subjects.
Does he cook as well?
Yeah, he knows how to cook a little bit, but that's not his main thing. He was an accountant.
Okay.
So he has a very organized way of structuring things compared to me. I'm mostly like all over the place, and having him as a partner as well, it's helping me understand better how to organize things and how to see his way, his upbringing in his career as an accountant or working for how can I say this?
Corporations?
Yeah, corporations, exactly. Where I was more on the creative side. I was like choreographing. I was creating different foods, and yes, you have some kind of structure and organization, but yeah, like creating and owning a business is like
it's very different.
it's so different.
Complement each other will be the really good model. Yeah.
So having the music, the identity of the restaurant, like he's a very welcoming person as well. So like we both brought something together, and the formula is working for now. I hope it's gonna work for a very long time, but so far so good. I think we're doing pretty good.
I guess the trend right now, your restaurant is gonna all the way going up. I guess it's amazing.
Yeah, well, we have amazing staff as well. So, but having staff that will represent you is hard to find. But if you have a good idea of what you want and how you want things to be done, I think it's very important.
Yeah.
And
I haven't been there. If I'm working 7 days in the restaurant, otherwise I will try make some time to try your restaurant for sure. But I'm just too busy, 7 days a week in the restaurant.
I know, I understand.
And the reason a couple of days ago you asked me if we are open 7 days. 7 days, it's tough. But like there's the reasons behind is like the way I operate this business, we try to make it like kind of more even a pace, like we're doing slowly. But to cover up the cost, everything, we have to work long hours. But like during the hours, we kind of make it like a more like a slow paced to keep the quality.
Mm-hmm.
But to spread the cost to kind of make little profit, I think it's better to open every day.
Okay.
Because our profit margin is relatively low, so we have to make up that. And I'm very patient as a like person myself. Mm-hmm. I know you want to make it really a success, but you just cannot hurry it, cannot push it that much.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm a kind of very a beginner of business and especially restaurant business. So I have to take my time to put in all the hours I have to. So I'm super patient. Even it's not making money or making a lot of profit, but I'm willing to do it really slowly to get everything under control. That's my thing. Is like even I don't think I would succeed anyway because I'm a little bit. I like the mediocre thing. I could be very mediocre myself, but I accept that reality. I'm just working my way up a little bit, slowly but steady, but not ruin the things. It's because it's a reality. Is like I cannot do it very well. It's like I cannot create the vibes you create because you're a dancer. You have background. I cannot pretend to be something I am not. Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Especially I grew up like a poor village or everything. I had no like artistic training at all. So even I cannot sing karaoke either. So I cannot.
Everyone can sing karaoke. Not well. Like me, I love singing karaoke. I don't sing it well, but I love it.
So it's just like my strong point is I accept reality. I just walk around. I just say like, but I know what I have, kind of what level we can, for this time I can reach.
But like you said, you're an observer, you see things, you have ideas. Sometimes even though you don't identify yourself as an artist or whatever, you still are an artist. Like the way you write in your menu, the way you do your interviews, like that's artistry already. And don't underestimate that. And
that's why the family, if you can provide your kid, like when I was a kid, if I'm properly trained or something, especially my self-confidence was kind of probably kept or like fostered, and then probably I would be good. Even today, I have no confidence or something. It's very, it's the thing when the background is very important. That's why I really appreciate the people growing up in a kind of the family can provide the training on a lot of different aspects. It will help you a lot.
Well, yeah, I had some self-confidence problems as well before because my family was not very supportive of the life choices that I was making. You know,
A
like
lot of Asian families,
yeah.
they have the
So me, like I wasn't good at school. I was dancing, so you know, for them, it's I was
not
gonna
a
fail.
stable
You know,
career.
yeah,
It's not a
exactly.
stable career.
But honestly, if I didn't choose to dance all those years, I never would have traveled. And from traveling, I tried different foods. I went to different neighborhoods. That's my curiosity for food. And then if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have. I don't think I would have went to culinary school, because I was thinking like, hey, what if I live in New York and I want to dance there? If I can't make it, I can actually just go work at a restaurant so I can get by, you know, because everyone eats,
Yeah.
so everyone will always need to cook somewhere. So I was like, you know what, I could do that. But my plan first was to just be able to dance more. Then when I went to culinary school, I realized, man, I really love this. It's like super cool. I loved everything about it. Even today, when I like owning the restaurants, yes, it's work, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like work. It's just like nurturing something that it's bigger than you,
Yeah.
and it's motivating. So I think I really found my path. I know it's hard work and it's very unstable, but man, the people you meet, uh, the people you are making happy from like every bite is it's great. Like it's gratifying. So yeah, I think I really found what I love. So I guess I'm lucky to have found my passion. You know,
And you can combine those two together.
exactly. A lot of people in the dance community helped me build my restaurant, build the clientele, the branding and everything. So if I didn't do that all those years, you know, I would not be a restaurant owner today. So everything you do in life will just lead you to where you need to be, you know?
Yeah, yeah. But it's the CJAP. Did you go the CJAP is the dancing or the dancing was the CJAP thing?
No, I went to CJEP just to please my parents. I subscribed in so I did, it was a class to become an engineer.
Okay.
But
that would be my path. I always engineer.
Yeah, but I had no skills. I just had I went to I didn't even when I finished high school I didn't have the credits to go to those programs.
Okay.
So I went to we say adult school
Okay.
to finish like my advanced math and science or you know all those classes that I needed to be able to access the engineer program,
Yeah.
which is called the génie mécanique, mechanical engineering. I'm not sure in English what it is, but génie mécanique. So I went to that program just to prove my parents that I'm not an idiot, but I am an idiot for going there because I failed completely. Man, I was so bad at school. Man, it was.
So you did not go to a university?
No, I
after
did not go to university. I changed programs. I thought I wanted to do something a little bit more artistic, so I went to how do you call this? It's called industrial design.
that? Okay.
There's nothing artistic about that, or maybe it is because well, I didn't work or study in that field long enough. But yeah, everything was just like very square. Like it needs to be
The CAD,
practical.
is that CAD software that make those kind of charts or the diagrams?
I can't remember what was the program that we were using at the time, but yeah, everything was so technical.
Yeah.
Everything was mathematical.
Yeah.
Nothing was creative, I think. But there is some creativity to make things better for people everyday use. You know. So in that sense, yes, there is some creativity, I think. But it was not the creative I was looking for. So I was still like obsessed with dance at the time. So I dropped everything and I was lucky enough to be part of a dance company at the time.
But
So-
where did your dancing come from? The dancing, like just like
Oh.
when you were like 10, 12, you like dancing.
Yeah, I was 12 years old or something. I was at a party. I saw some of my cousins dance, and then when I went to high school, I saw these cool Asian kids like in like they were older than me, and they were all great dancers. And I was like, man, I wanna be cool like that someday. Because growing up, you don't see in America at the time. I didn't see people who the typical Asian was like the kid would come back from school to home, study,
the extra curriculum training,
Yeah.
another academic.
so very introverted person, and I couldn't identify myself as that. So I was like, what am I gonna do? I don't fit anywhere. I'm not good at school.
Yeah.
So when I saw these group of kids, like, and some of them were Asian, I was like, man, I need to be cool like them. So I started getting interested in dance, and I just kept on doing it. A lot of people in my neighborhood were doing it already, so it was very easy access to go see some dancers and try to learn from them. So I just kept on doing it, and then until like I became an adult, I was very into it. So I got the chance to dance a couple of years, do some shows. I got paid for certain things.
So was the pay good? Well,
No,
not
it
good.
wasn't. No, it wasn't. Because back then, let's say, because the dance styles that I did was street dancing. So b-boying, popping, locking.
On the floor, like
Yeah, exactly.
the flip roll.
Flip rolls,
Yeah.
footwork.
Yeah.
It was not considered professional dancing. For them, it was just street dancing. You would see once in a while in a music video, but it was not considered like you could not do a career out of that.
But some of them really boring. The contemporary, very technical, very difficult, but it's super boring. They call it contemporary, right? That you kind of the movie super. It's not interesting, but they said
to
it's
you,
yeah.
maybe. But no, I find it interesting. I came to really love contemporary dancing as well. But
Yeah, but
like,
the real people, they're gonna appreciate the techniques.
yeah, exactly.
for
But
sure.
there, of course, there is some
To
probably-
us, yeah, to the regular people, that's kind of boring.
just some food. Some people might say it's boring, but if you don't appreciate the technical aspect of it, but there is sometimes some dancers or choreographers that represent that style, and I think it's boring. Like even the street dancing, it could be boring to me because I'm like,
The street dancing, the cool part is like the music always super like hype, and also like you get on the floor kind of a lot of crazy and
it's very dynamic.
one arm
Yeah,
like supporting the whole body weight.
but it's like anything artistic, everything is super subjective, and there is good quality and bad quality. Same thing for food. So everything, I feel like everything is the same. You can find very good quality or bad quality, and people who represent well certain styles of dance, like certain style of foods.
But for this kind of stuff, the subjective, I guess it's the expressing is very, very important. So it's kind of the confidence. Some people, they just the same kind of movements, but some people just, you can appreciate even the most people are gonna say, oh, this you're probably expressing really well, like the self-confidence, like just affecting other people around you. It's like it's very natural to some people, but not to other people. So the feel is so different. Even but when I look at some people, they just the same kind of moves, but some people just look so good. It's so good on them.
So for people who don't really understand dance as well, when growing up, I was not the most this acrobatic dancer. I didn't do flips or spin on my head. So for people who don't understand these dances, all they want to see is that. They want to see something explosive.
Crazy, huh? The crazy moves.
But there's, I always liked dancers who had style, charisma, who were creative. Sorry. They were very creative when they were dancing. So once you understand the subject, certain things you appreciate is very different. So let's say for this dish, some people are like, oh, these colors are bland. There's no red, or there's no very bright green on it, or I'm like, but sometimes certain dishes are made to be like that, because it's a balance.
Yeah.
And you don't just eat that. You can eat that with something else that has more color or flavor. It's all about balance, having a just variety to complete your dish, but it doesn't. Sometimes certain dishes need to be all green.
I guess the beauty of subjective is the beauty itself is like people have different the different takes on certain things. It's more like more grades.
Yeah,
That's the beauty of the.
there's so many layers to everything that we that to any subject. Everything that we enjoy.
Myself, my background training as an engineer, so it's a lot of time very objective. Like we want to grade everything. It's kind of so boring to do everything. Oh, is this right or wrong? Right or wrong? Or good or bad? Like that's kind of sometimes I find a lot of my friends or even myself to say, that's kind of professional training. Like you want to grade everything. You want to, want to like kind of make sure like okay this. Give them like score or something, Too much logical thing, too much calculation in your mind. Like everything has to be logic. But if the dancing or this kind of artistic is not working that way, it's more lubricating. It's I always appreciate art. I always sometimes see the art or all this artistic stuff is a lubrication of the society. You cannot be rigid. So the lubrication, the society, people interact with each other, they presented the arts, kind of dance, music. You see it's great. Some people are not so great. Some people say it's not so good, not great, even bad. But it's all there. They give you different choices. Like, it's a lubrication. People interact with each other. They appreciate being kind, being nice, being kind of stuff. Like instead of like applying logic to every day, I do this. It benefit me more, like this much, benefit you that much, and then it will be boring. Like it's crazy. So you have to have the kind of the artistic stuff going on all over the daily life, and then make it better interactive. It's a lubrication. Lubricate. The society needs that. You cannot be all the engineering, all the kind of crazy logics. So that's why sometimes some artists, they don't make good money or even not making a living, but they're very essential to the whole society. You need to see some interesting stuff instead of everything logical. I'm an engineer, so this is not making sense. It's or for me, I always say, it's not making sense, not making business sense. It's business about numbers. It is about numbers. I do that every day. It bothers me a lot.
Sometimes I think in my head, I'm like, why is there, let's say, okay pizza like Domino's or all those chains when you can get amazing pizza at this spot? But if every pizza was amazing, how can you know this pizza is amazing? You need something that's
to compare.
I'm not saying that Domino's is bad, because I think it's affordable. It's like their technologies are amazing. It's crazy. It's so fast. But it's not my pizza of choice. But I understand why it's there. So if those chains were not there, how can you compare to something that's better? So everything needs to have a balance. And not everyone can afford a better pizza. So I think that's why it's more accessible.
I thought I always can afford the Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut was my best choice, a favorite. But then a lot of them closed, right? Because the business model, whatever, they just could not compete with Domino's. They were so expensive. Like
so expensive.
15, 14 years ago in the West End, we always went to the Pizza Hut in the St. Charles. And there's crust, the cheese stuffed crust. Remember that thing? Cost $23 for a large one. I believe $23 before tax. But it's so amazing. Like most people don't like the crust, right? It's a thick dough. But then it's kind of creative. They put the cheese inside. The whole ring was the best part for me, like chewing it. Amazing. But it's $23, and you probably pay take out maybe $25. But then Domino's, being an IT guy, that time I figured out Domino's would be successful because they are probably the first one to have their own delivery website. They order online way before the Foodora, DoorDash, and Uber
Whoa.
Eats. Way before, so they have their own website. You can order, and then they have their own drivers to deliver to you. So they are way before all this food delivery business. So they
were advanced.
Yeah, they were before the time, and pricing wise, they were like maybe 50% less expensive than the Pizza Hut. That's why Pizza Hut was pushed out.
It's still around, but yeah,
not that big anymore.
not that big anymore.
I like the Pizza Hut. Even today, there's a new one, but they have to be, all the Pizza Hut restaurant right now in Montreal area, it's very small. There's no dining room. A lot of them don't have dining room anymore, so they're just for takeout and deliveries.
I don't even remember last time I had Pizza Hut.
Yeah, that's why it's not successful. But once in a while, I had them. Like I find the secrets they're so appeasing, so satisfying. Is they put a lot of oil actually.
Yeah, it's greasy.
Yeah, exactly. But it smells great.
Oh yeah, because it's fried.
Yeah.
The dough is fried.
Very satisfying. And then the Domino's, you feel a little bit dry, right? Just feel a little bit dry. So once in a while, when I had the Pizza Hut, it's still that's the secret I find. I'm a big fan of Pizza Hut.
I used to eat it more when I was a kid, but like it was a celebration when we had Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I go downstairs, get some hot water for the tea.
Thank you.
Yeah, just eat more. We need to finish this.
Oh my god. Food is great. I'm full though. Y'all need to come try the food. Okay, one last piece of this. Whew.
So how many years like you work as a dancer?
Let's say I started, let's say, making money when I was late teens, early 20s.
Okay.
So that's when I would say I was a professional dancer. So yeah, I did that how many years? Maybe 10 years?
Wow, that's a lot of long time.
Yeah. I still, recently no, but like until like the last 3 years, I still did like contracts here and there. Just very small contracts, you know, because the restaurant time like is taking too much time. So yeah, I loved it, but during the time I started doing it, like casting was very important. So you know, I feel like when they had a cast of, let's say, a group of 5, so there would be 3 Caucasians, one black person, and 1 Asian max. And then the ratio is that, you know, I think it changed a little bit now. But yeah, back then it was harder. If you had another Asian girl or Asian guy that got the job, well, we're done. You know, same thing for people like my black friends. You know, if one was hired, then for sure you wouldn't be hired. Like, but now I think it's more of skills, like quality, than probably still a little bit of casting, but things have changed. And also the job opportunities, like professional dancers were ballet trained dancers, jazz dancers, people who had like a classic training. So
Or you can start a band or something.
Say what? Start a band? Oh,
Yeah, a band or the dancing group. Like,
yeah, we did.
that you would be the Montreal's BTS.
Oh, no, no. It wasn't my thing.
Hey, actually, if you have with the successful restaurant, you have the vibe, everything. You have the following of the audience. Probably you can have that. The group was around the restaurant.
Probably a lot of the first people that I hired were all dancers.
Oh, that's amazing.
And the people who are working right now, well, my sous chef, I guess he's my chef now. He's the one who was mainly in charge of the operations in the kitchen. He's a dancer too. One of the first person I ever hired was a friend of mine. He's a dancer too. That's how I met him, through dance. He's not dancing as much anymore, but that's how I know him. So a lot of people, everything is interconnected.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Dancing.
So that's the whole circle. You expand a little bit circle, and then it's a great business model too. And then the influence, the audience, the customer base will increase.
Mm-hmm.
Especially you have something to back up. It's great. Yeah.
But going back to my salary, and as a dancer, it was harder back then because it was like playing lottery. Once you do an audition, you get the gig, you have one job, it pays well, but it's one job, and then you're like jobless.
Yeah, for quite some time.
Yeah, for quite some time. Or you have a regular teaching job where you teach dance classes to younger students, people your age. You get hired by a dance studio, or you create your own following and people follow you and they take your classes. So it's doable. But at the time, it was less popular. So I feel like people now, because I'm part of a dance crew, and then a lot of them it's still their career. So I feel like they are smarter about how they build their career, and they have like different ways to generate some revenue, So I feel like people are a lot smarter now compared to when I just started.
Now they have social media, maybe TikTok.
Yeah, social media is good for that.
Also lots of festivals in
festivals, but there's a lot more. What do we call those? Les subventions. Yeah, when the government helps you with certain projects, or
Okay.
what do we call those? En tout cas, c'est des subventions. Les subventions is just government programs where they help you with creating cultural.
I guess I know that it's like the Quebec or federal government, they sponsor some art or some,
Yeah, exactly.
some kind of those programs.
Yes, I guess we could call it some sponsor, but there's a word for it. I totally forgot.
I have a friend, I actually just met her.
A grant.
Yeah, grants.
Yeah, they give you a grant to build cultural programs or a show or whatever, but you need to write it down and write your budget, and they will help you.
Yeah, it's
build it.
I probably cannot call her my friend. She's a director.
Okay.
She's Chinese. She got some grants the similar thing,
Mhm.
making a documentary film, in French, and about her father. It's a very popular, famous documentary right now. It's
Yeah.
the government grants to fund the documentary about her father still living in China.
Mhm.
Probably the minority group in Yunnan province had some crazy the ancient languages characters they own. So it's disappearing language in Yunnan province, I believe. So she made her documentary about his father, was the last few who still practicing that kind of the art and the characters.
Mm.
They are not Chinese characters, their own language characters.
So they don't even look like Chinese characters, or
It's not even close now. It's
No?
maybe ancient that time, still by ships, and the whole documentary it was shown in Atwater Theater, so the cinemas was in Quebec. A very moving documentary because that generation, the stories the whole stuff was kind of removed by the development, local development. Some buildings, something lost, the heritage, and that kind of stuff. It's kind of, if you make a commercial movie or something, you're gonna lose money for sure. So, luckily, the government just have those grants, so to fund those kind of shooting of the documentary, preserve that kind of actually it's about China, not about Canada, but somehow they kind of, Quebec and Canada, they have that kind of grants to help to preserve those kind of it's a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I met her, saw that it's in Chinese actually, the documentary, and there's a subtitle in French or English. And I met her in the restaurant. Probably she's doing another documentary. Last time she moving here 20 some years already. So probably she's gonna be the interviewer as well. She said she was working on, pretty busy on another documentary film. So when she freed up some time, and probably she would be. She said she supported this kind of interviews, like this video. She said it's amazing, interesting. But,
it's amazing.
Yeah, you see it it's my second language as well. My English is a way of me learning English as well.
Yeah,
it's a little bit selfish.
You're doing really well.
Selfish.
Just want to make sure.
It's Okay. You mentioned you have to sign something.
Yeah.
On specific time.
Just to make sure that I don't lose my priority. So thank you.
And this tea is a good tea I brought from home. It's
so good. Wow, that was a lot of food.
I eat a lot of food as well.
Oh yeah?
I eat a lot. I probably gonna keep eating.
How do you stay skinny from running in the restaurant?
I'm not skinny. I try to lose weight. If I eat one, like today, I have to eat, and then probably next 2 or 3 days, I don't eat main meal at all.
So main meal, you mean like you won't eat in the evening, or you just fast, like you won't eat at all?
It's not totally unhealthy. So I just my regular breakfast, the toast, milk, everything. But during the day, I don't almost eat nothing. But then I find something like treats, either ice cream or something at the evening when I get home around 10.
Oh my God.
So super unhealthy. I know it's not good, but I'm 43. I guess when I'm 50 years old, I'm probably going to regret.
Oh no.
Sometimes I have bubble tea. Saturday, sometimes my wife will come to help. Like when she's in the restaurant, probably I'm going to order some bubble tea as well.
I'm like leaving from this space because I know there's a
lot of bubble tea. Yeah.
So for sure, I'm bringing some to my girlfriend. Yeah. And I'm gonna grab some for sure.
Yeah.
I know I need to get some bubble tea.
Yeah, bubble tea is not healthy. A lot of
my
sugar.
God, it's so unhealthy, but it's so satisfying. It's so good.
So definitely every Saturday I will have a big. It's bigger and bigger right now. It's
bigger and bigger. It's
and more expensive. But every Saturday is routine. My wife is come here to help Saturday. We definitely gonna every Saturday in the past few months already. So we kind of a treat for me.
Yeah.
But every day at home, when I go home, probably find a snack here or there, cookies here or there. Super healthy. But I rely on my body to get strong.
Yeah. So you asked me if I wanted to have a drink or something while eating and doing this interview, but man, being in the restaurant business, you're constantly around, the nightlife.
You have cocktails.
Cocktails, whatever. Oh, you have like one drink, two drinks, or whatever. But having it every evening, and then weekends you're like, oh, you know what? I'll have more. Man, I realized, I can't be healthy like that. So yeah, I'm right now. I'm trying to not drink at all, and maybe if I can like just stop drinking, that would be amazing because you save money. It's better for your health. I've been working out more recently, and I'm like, alcohol is not doing any good for me, so I'm just gonna try to keep on going and try to make healthier choices.
Your restaurant has a lot of nice looking cocktails.
Oh,
Cocktails
yeah.
very sneaky.
Oh
Cocktails
yeah! Oh my
super,
god!
Yeah, they're super sneaky. You feel it's sweet. It's have good flavor balance, good, and then goes down so nice. You drink them so nice, and it has alcohol inside. You just don't feel the alcohol that much.
Oh yeah, man. It's so tricky. But also me being at the restaurant, every time you see an old client, a friend, whatever, they want to offer you a shot, and then you're like, oh, you know what? They offered me a shot. I'm gonna offer a round of shot as well.
Wow.
So by the end of the night, you have like a bunch of shots, and
that's
unhealthy, man.
Some probably Joe Beef for some restaurant owner. Joe Beef, the famous one. Probably some people, the owners could be alcoholic as well because every night you drink a lot. Some people it became a habit.
But it's something that we need to sensibilize people with, because being in the restaurant business is just so easy to go down that road, of drinking every night, partying, waking up wasted, and then start your day and do it all over again and all over again, and it's draining. But you don't realize how bad it is for you until you kind of like.
Yeah. For us, we don't have this problem. We have only our alcohol has only one beer, Super Bock.
Yeah.
Only one kind of beer, and red wine 2 types, like white wine 2 types, and then sake. That's all. we are simple.
Yeah.
I keep everything so simple for
I honestly love the taste of alcohol. I love drinking. I love the social aspect of it as well. But I think it's good to have a balance in your life, like maybe do a little bit more physical activities, eat less junk, I guess.
Your restaurant is so your restaurant is very good with customer, the vibes, the ambience, whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
But this kind of restaurant, like I guess it must be really hard at the beginning of the pandemic because you rely on the people eating side, right?
Yeah.
So how did you do at the beginning of pandemic?
We had to adapt quite fast because, man, we just opened, and it hit pretty hard because everything shut down.
Did you do the takeout as well?
A lot of takeout, delivery.
But then the kind of experience kind of lost, right? For that.
Yeah, like having people over to listen to the good music that we were playing, like all of the decor is made for you to want to come and have a good time, So it was hard, but like I said, we have really good customers that just kept on supporting us. A lot of people from the neighborhood, a lot of.
So they came to take out.
A lot of people.
I know delivery pretty bad.
Takeout and delivery. The delivery was harder because dealing with the delivery.
Yeah, the commission. The commission is.
It was harder. We were working extra hard, and then at the end of the day, we're like 30% of our everything that we did just went to them.
It's really.
It's like wow. Like all the food that we made,
so
it doesn't even come in our pockets.
Yeah,
that was hard. But we were pretty reactive to whatever was happening, so we adapted quite fast. So it was hard, but it could have been harder. We had like a lot of other friends that had a harder time because we were already known for takeout, so that's what saved us. If we were just a dine-in kind of restaurant, it would have been way harder because people weren't used to order from them as takeout. So since we already had a platform for takeout, it was easier for us to adapt.
And also, if your audience, your customer, they have loyal customer, they would help you like to do takeout instead of deliveries at the beginning. So I guess if you have 50-50, that's already pretty good. If you have 50% like takeout without commissions, and then 50% on delivery, that's pretty good already. We did not have that. I guess at the beginning, the worst days of the pandemic, I guess 80-90% of the deliveries. So we work a lot of orders, but the margin was really small. So but like that time, like we have only 10% or 20% of on the takeout. Takeout was great because you don't pay the commissions. But we work a lot of orders at the beginning. So the March 2020, April, May, we did not open the first summer. They allow, but you have opened, right? The summer of 2020.
Summer of 2020?
Yeah, that summer the government allowed the dine-in.
Oh yeah,
but we chose not to.
It's like, man, we have a capacity of
smaller.
I think about 60 seatings at our restaurant.
Yeah.
We were like, there was 20 people, 25 people that could sit in the restaurant during the pandemic.
Oh yeah, the half, right? They said the rule is half.
So it was.
So you opened, right? You opened.
Yeah, we opened, but
not so many.
No, it wasn't as good, but we were still open. So I guess I gotta be grateful for that.
Yeah. But for the first summer, we have 2 floors. It would be good for us, but that time I did not know. We decided now to just simplify. We did not open at all. We did not open the first summer. Even the rules allowed, but we did not open at all.
Yeah, sometimes it's better like that, so you don't have to have a lot of people on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. The waitresses. Yeah, it's like to simplify the process. You just did not have the good margin. But at least it's simple. You kind of like that time I workaholic. Also, I started like picking up the pace. I kind of I worked a lot of hours since then because even the margin is pretty low, but as long as you work a lot of orders, you can make up.
Yeah.
We did a lot of genital chicken. We did a lot of the Singapore noodles and the Cantonese noodles, and then Pad Thai, the udon was not a big deal, I guess. Like the Singapore noodle, a lot of orders, and it's a little bit simpler for us to operate like that. But at least even they charge a lot of commission, 30%. But the first year was really like those Uber Eats, DoorDash, they really helped us to stay in business.
Yeah.
So
no, of course. So your name still is out there,
Well,
at least.
Yeah, we were lucky. The 1 year before the pandemic, we started on Uber Eats.
Mm-hmm.
Before, like, it's your time. Yeah, 107 already.
Okay, sorry. Gotta do this. So sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
Has to do some big time signing, right? To sign a contract with a big company.
Now that are you still filming?
Yeah, it's always fun. Yeah.
Okay, did I receive anything?
It's great for me to eat now.
Okay. Okay, no use for now.
It's everything on cell phone now. Yeah. You have not received it? No?
No, I didn't receive it yet.
So what is the restaurant? Your restaurant famous for the poutine now.
Yeah, it's we're known for fusion food, and I mean when I'm talking about fusion, it's not necessarily having a Vietnamese restaurant with, let's say, other Asian countries, like let's say Asian specialty like pad thai. We don't have that. We don't have a Chow Tao. I mean, and it's not completely Vietnamese as well. So we serve Montreal influenced food with Asian flavors. So we're known for our kimchi poutine.
Yeah, kimchi poutine.
We are known for our pho poutine.
And you have the bun. The bun with the meat inside.
Oh, the
It's a
bao. Yeah, I just did that recently because it was recently the Lunar New Year.
Yeah. Oh, that's only not always there.
No, so every 2 or 3 months we have different specials.
So you change up a little bit.
Yeah.
Making it more fun.
Yeah, because a lot of the regulars, they always come back. They come back once a week, once a month, once every 2 weeks. So when they come back, they want to try something new. So they take our classics. So they take either the pho, they take a poutine. We have a carpaccio, like a raw meat dish as well. That's very popular. And then they're like, okay, what's the special this month? And yeah, so that's why we create that for us to keep ourselves like always creative.
Yeah, creative. Yeah.
But also just to please the people who always come back. They're like, they trust us with like different flavors, so they're like, hey, what's new? So yeah, once in a while we always create like something different.
Is at one certain time, how many items on the main dishes? How many do you have on the menu? 6, 7, 8, or?
Oh man, I think we have about 20 20 dishes, maybe more. I think
That's
it's
a lot.
It's probably more. Yeah, it's a lot, but it's like let's say the pho, we have a variety, but it's not as much variety as a specialty pho spot. You know, we have like the pho with bao tai, which is the minced raw beef, rare steak, and then we have the pho đặc biệt, which our version only has a flank, the raw beef and meatballs. Then we have the chicken one with vegetables and grilled chicken. So we have just one soup, but just a few varieties, and then we have two types of poutine that's on our regular menu. But this week we have the poutine week, and we created a new poutine for these next 2 weeks. It's like a creative poutine competition. So people evaluate the poutine on creativity, on taste, on look as well.
That competition is within your restaurant or with other?
With like hundreds of restaurants.
Really?
Yeah.
In Montreal?
In Montreal, and I think it's everywhere in Canada now as well. And it's around the world because I know some people are doing it in France as well.
So by Montreal, there's the pancakes is the best, right? There's most popular is the pancakes.
It's very popular. It's a very touristy trap.
Yeah.
But I think they're doing a great job. It's just that I think there's just so many different restaurants that have good poutine in Montreal. Yeah. But for what's very particular about La Marquise, let's say, it's 24 hours, 24/7.
And have a lot of choices of the toppings.
So much variety. And they're doing a great job. But let's say you want a classic poutine, just like the fries, cheese and gravy. I think there's a lot
of good ones.
Yeah, good ones. Yeah. So I don't think mine is the best, but in terms of creativity, I think we're pretty we're up there. We're very funky in terms of toppings, funky in terms of flavors as well. Like the next one is it tastes like takoyaki, so it's very special. The textures, the look of it, it's nothing like a traditional poutine, but the way you eat it, it's still fries, cheese, and the gravy.
But for the competition, so they're gonna have a list of the winners, or something?
Yeah, every year they come up with the winners. Every year they come up with they classify the top five, and they classify the top five in Canada as well.
Okay.
So once we were, I think twice we were number 2.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
And also for the fall, like sometimes, like I guess right now, like last time I went to the famous one in Montreal, like they put the coriander instead of the basil.
Uh-huh.
I guess basil, you have to have basil, right?
It depends, but most of the times you'll have onions and cilantro in every soup normally. It's a very common.
But you have the chop suey, the thing,
Yeah.
and then
And
on
basil
top,
on the
the
side.
basil, yeah, because the basil, the leaves, you tear them up
Yeah.
and then put inside and then in the broth.
Yeah.
And then last time I went there, like I guess a month ago, and they I guess it's too expensive during the pandemic, maybe.
Yeah,
The basils.
the basil, yeah, definitely, because you weren't selling as much, and basil is very fragile.
Yeah, fragile.
So
And it's kind of, you see the color going to change after.
Yeah. It becomes dark
Yeah.
quite fast.
And it's a unique basil. It's not the regular basil here.
No, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of, you see the purple, like
Yeah, it's like purple.
Yeah.
The
on the leaf.
stem is purple, and
Yeah.
then the leaf is.
Yeah.
It smells different. It has a very licorice taste to it.
And we used to have it, we have one dish called the 3-cup chicken. It's supposed to have the basil as well. We, like, before the pandemic, we always bought that kind of basil, the special basil, the same one using
Yeah.
in the Vietnamese
pho,
restaurant, in the pho. And then we stopped doing that. We just, I don't know, it's the cost of operation, and then you store them, and then you have to go every 2 or 3 days to get them. It's always a small amount in the plastic, right?
Yeah.
I know where to buy. The reason I bring that up, probably it's kind of because of the cost. That thing must be super expensive right now.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, we kind of just could not continue with that with a 3-cup chicken. Yeah, and also coriander. We used to have the coriander on top. That's why sometimes I say, like, when I do business, it's not like following strictly to the traditional way of doing that. Otherwise, you're gonna have coriander. Coriander is a big thing in Chinese cuisine.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing. A lot of dishes will put a coriander. Especially you deal with the heavy flavor,
Yeah.
like the pork belly thing. A lot of time coriander, also the fish. Somehow the coriander is perfect with fish, especially the freshwater fish.
Yeah.
We right now a lot of customers, they don't like coriander, so they put when they order or like online order, they put the comments saying like no coriander. A lot of times.
I know. I don't think it's because they don't like it. It's because, okay, so this is what I heard. I heard it's like some type of, not necessarily allergy, but it's an intolerance. So when you eat it, your body is rejecting it. So it tastes like soap.
Oh.
So that's why they don't like the taste. Yeah. It tastes off. It's not good.
Yeah. And also there's like other kind of coriander, but the Chinese coriander, you cannot keep them for long, right? It's kind of watery. The tiny leaves are so easy to go bad, to go, like some you see that breaking off, like
becomes mushy.
Yeah, it's not easy to keep them. Yeah. So it's a good thing for us to get rid of that completely. So there's no customer asking every time. They still ask no coriander. Yeah, but we don't have that in the store, in the restaurant at all.
You know, like I used to always be like, why? It's so good. But it's not because it's not good. It's because they can't digest it. So as soon as they taste it, it tastes disgusting to them, you know? And I guess I can understand that.
So a lot of your customers, so what is your best seller
Best seller would be, okay, so pho, because it's very...
It's classic.
It's classic. But like, let's say if I have Asians that come to my restaurant, they don't necessarily take the pho because they would rather go to a more traditional pho place, which is fine. Yeah. But they try other things at my restaurant. They won't find at other Asian restaurants or other Vietnamese restaurants. Yeah. So they would try our poutines. They would try other specialties. So what else? The poutine is definitely
Yeah.
like
Always
the
try
kimchi
yeah.
is number one. It's a ramen sauce. Like it tastes like the spicy ramen challenge. It's the samyang or the buldak sauce. It's very spicy. It's very red, and but when you combine it with cheese, the sauce, it's a cheese sauce.
Yeah.
Man, it's so addicting. And I balance it with like fresh herbs. Every time we make a poutine, we put onions and coriander on top
Okay.
because of the freshness,
Yeah.
and then we put our homemade sweet and sour sauce. There's
Yeah.
either fried chicken or fried tofu on top with kimchi. That's the best one.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's the flavors are so special. Like you can't describe it.
Mm.
And we have fresh cheese curds as well, so that's why it's very addicting because the bounciness of the
Yeah.
cheese when you have it, it's very appealing.
Wow.
But we have a pho poutine as well. We put like some raw beef slices. It's our carpaccio on top. We put a homemade hot sauce that's made with bird. Do we call it bird chilies? You know, the long and red ones that we use a lot in Thai cuisine. We chop it up. But I make a hot sauce with that. So a few drops of that. We press some lime on top, some basil leaves. It tastes like pho, but in a poutine. It's weird because, well, I make the gravy. I make it with the pho soup that we make there.
Okay. Yeah, that's why the restaurant you have the freedom to create a lot of
Yeah,
unique stuff.
I have freedom, but at the same time, I don't because every time I make something, I have to make it taste Asian influence, you know. So I can't just come up with a sandwich that just tastes like, let's say, a Portuguese grilled sandwich or a Greek sandwich. It needs to have like an Asian flair to it, I think. But you know, where I think in which culture I think they applied, let's say, other influences, but still it's very their own identity, but influence from somewhere else. It's Japanese people.
Okay.
They take either American concepts, European concepts, but they turn it into
Their own.
It's very Japanese the way they make it, you know, like from sandwiches to desserts and stuff like that. I don't know. They were able to adapt it, so it's still very.
Why it's a phenomenon? Why do you think Japanese restaurant is so high end? Looks like some of them very high end. And they do great.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why Japanese people have this reputation.
And with that price, and each person gonna spend $60, $80, $100 per person there.
Yeah.
And then still have a lot of customers.
I know.
That's really amazed me. It's amazing. It's kind of we always admire. We envy them. We want to have that margin. You know, want to have that many customers. It's just
I don't know. There's something about Japanese culture that just is appealing to people.
Mm-hmm.
The way it's very not necessarily. I wouldn't say square, but very pure. Mm. There's something.
The way they slice the fish, you know, it just take like instead of 1 second, they spend 10 seconds to do that, to like slice the stroke.
Yeah, maybe I don't know what it is, but
people really appreciate that kind of. They're willing to pay the price for that extra 9 seconds of work.
Yeah, I don't know. I appreciate it too. So,
but do you go to some of this kind of high-end Japanese restaurants, or which one do you like most?
Let's say there's it wouldn't be necessarily high-end, but I think the chef is great at what he does. It's they just recently changed names, but it was Otobistro on Montreal.
Okay.
So the chef is called Hiroshi. I think his food is great, and it's more affordable than like other high-end restaurants. But I feel like the quality and the way he is choosing his ingredients is very appealing to me. So yeah, that one is very good. But no, man, like I'm like more of a people's food. Like I try once in a while
Okay.
those things, but this is more of the food that I would try more with my
Everyday food,
friends.
yeah.
Yeah.
The price friendly.
Yeah, price friendly, but at the same time, I'm like, I think Asian cuisine or
Mm.
Chinese cuisine deserves to have a better recognition, you know, because I feel like these flavors, the way you combine things, the technique is so complex that it deserves the respect, you know, in the work that
Yeah.
you put in.
Also, I'm not sure. Like, I guess you don't use that. We call 6-inch the wok. A
Uh-huh.
little bit heavy. The
Yeah.
6-inch instead of
It's
lot
a
of.
handle like this, right? So it's
No,
like,
that 2 years we have
Yeah, okay.
we use the handle one. with
Okay,
the handle one.
Oh, yeah,
Some of
6-inch. Okay.
6-inch like this, like the wrong one, the wok.
Uh-huh.
And since I started working in the kitchen a lot of time in the past during the pandemic, I really appreciate like that's amazing. Like the design of the wok, it's a round one, and then you have a ring, and then the natural gas is kind of having that fire directly on the bottom
Yeah.
of the wok, and so you just slide the wrong
Yeah,
wok
it's
on the
less heavy
ring.
for your,
Yeah, you don't spend any
Energy,
force.
yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing design, and then you kind of slide down and up, and it's create that kind of mixing, perfect
Yeah,
mixing, and then use the. It's not the spatula. It's the wrong one. It's the ladle or something
Yeah.
like that. That thing you work like opposite direction. You just use a little bit movement and then create that kind of a.
I love it because I always dream of having my own wok at my restaurant. I had one at my first location, but it wasn't as practical because there was holes,
Yeah.
so water would flow out.
Oh, yeah.
So we would have to bring it in the sink to wash it. But it's so time efficient. You wash it right away, you're ready for a new dish. So you can create like so many different dishes within a very short amount of time.
Yeah. And also this thing, like with the minimum movement, the mixing efficiency on the mixing, like you toss up down in the wok, it's so amazing. They call it some mixer, you know, that kind of the bowl for mixing, and you use the tongs to that. They think comparing that is 100 times more efficient.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and at the same time on the bottom, the natural gas, the heat is super hot heat,
Uh-huh.
and then within few seconds, you mix everything, and every part of that thing got heated. Like either one of these, you literally see the like you kind of tossing it up, and then without any effort.
Yeah.
It's amazing design.
It's crazy.
I thought at the beginning, it must be tiring, like if you're doing that for a long time. But then you're just doing the back and forth thing. It's just like you slide. It's not lifting. You're not lifting at all. Only at end of the serving, at the end you pour that into a plate. That's you have to lift that whole 6-inch like iron wok.
Yeah.
That's all. And then during the whole thing, like you just like playing a toy, like back and forth on something you're not lifting.
Well, I think it's one of the best tools to
Yeah.
cook with. Everything is good. No. You need to learn how to use a wok properly. But
It took me one day actually.
Yeah.
The chef taught me how to do it, and he explained to me the theory of it. It's just like when you move it this way, the wok goes this way, and with that thing, another ladle or whatever. How to say
Yeah,
it?
the ladle.
Ladle. And then you move this direction, so give it like twice the commotion or
Uh-huh.
the movement inside. So you kind of go this way. You just work at the rhythm, like two hands go this direction and this direction. So it's kind of create twice or whatever, and then everything is flipping inside. It's so easy. It took me one day actually, and that's
but not everyone will.
And-
You got skills, so that means you got skills.
But over time, like at the beginning, you feel like, oh, I put this in. Like for example, the best case is that the pad thai noodle. Pad thai noodle is very tricky. That thing is very tricky. If you put a little bit longer, it's all sticking together.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get it too dry or something. The heat,
Yeah.
the pad thai supposed to go through hot water, and it's soaked in water for some time already.
Yeah.
And then you go through hot water, get it almost cooked or something,
Yeah.
and make it soft.
Practically all, yeah.
Make it soft as well. And then at the beginning, I tried that one. I just feel maybe I just when I pour that into the wok, I try to do that movement thing, but it took me like extra second to think about this, and then it's all sticking to the wok. It's amazing. So you have to be quick. But at the beginning, you're kind of a little bit nervous or like not. But once you do a 2 or 3 few times, you figure out really quick.
One of the first jobs that I've had was in a kitchen. Was at a spot where they sauteed noodles. But I was new there. And I had like other people who had more experience than me. They would work there. But I knew already back then that that was wrong. They would put all the ingredients together, put water, the noodles and everything, heat up, wait till the steam comes. They just go like this. But in my head, I knew that that was wrong. I didn't want to say anything because I was just a new employee there. But I knew that you had to turn on the heat first and make sure that there's almost some fume coming out.
Fume,
So then you put your ingredients because it needs to sear.
You have to have certain temperature.
Yeah, it's not like you're not supposed to just put all your ingredients and wait till your noodles are steaming and then put it all.
I learned a lot of techniques. Like the way you watch the film you mentioned, like when you see the film is coming out, that's probably the right moment you have to, otherwise it's going to be too hot.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's going to burn. It's going to become dark.
So it's like it took me some time. It's just experience. Sometimes some good teachers, the cook will tell you very detailed steps. Okay, let's watch this until some good indicator, right? Yeah. But something not good at teaching, you just leave you out there, like you figure out by yourself.
Yeah.
But like then I literally me figuring out, like also when you have the fried rice is a very, very interesting thing. Like when you have a little bit oil in the wok, right? You left over a little bit oil, and you put the egg first. The egg, if the wok is too hot, the egg is gonna right away sticking to the wok. But if the wok is not hot enough, the egg is gonna stick
as well.
Yeah. So you have to be really hot, but the right moment, and then you put the egg in, mixing with the oil. Magically, the egg and the rice not sticking at all to the wok. So it took me a while to figure out what is the right moment to put the egg to get to make sure that the egg and the rice they do well and the rice not sticking to the wok. But at the same time, if some customer they like the vegetarian, for example, they told us we tell them, okay, you choose vegetable only, but also fried rice come with egg.
Yeah.
You can choose not. You can choose not. If sometimes they choose no egg, either way, the rice is gonna stick to the wok. So I still don't know the magic of the science behind why the egg will help the rice not sticking to the wok.
I don't get it either.
It must be the science, the real science, with just some egg, and it's not sticking anymore if you do it properly.
Yeah.
But if no egg, I don't know who can do that without sticking the rice to the wok.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the heat.
I don't know what it is.
It's amazing. So I really love right now the 16-inch that kind of wok with working with the fire.
I love what you said about you put the egg before, you put it after, you put it while it's heating and it's gonna stick. That's why I think I really love cooking. Sometimes it's you're living the moment. It's right away. You need to have your focus there because everything is moving so fast.
Yeah.
So if you're not paying attention, once you have more experience, you can do whatever. But I feel like to achieve that, you need to have some kind of a meditative moment where you're just fully conscious of what you're doing.
After time, I like, wow, I realized, wow, it's okay, it's working this way.
Yeah.
You just figure out, like after some time, you at the beginning you're frustrated. Okay, the result is kind of bad, and then like why? And then after a few tries, you figure out, is this kind of heat? You cannot too low, too high, and then it's not. It's like you're making a dough bread. In my mom, like in the village, like when you have the dough in the big basin, right, or the big probably basin. That thing, when you have the dough wrapped, like you have to have the basin, the container have to be really clean. and the whole dough like this big surface must be smooth,
Yeah.
and your hand has to be clean. So my mother told me like 3 cleanings. So the container is clean, no extra flour left sticking there, and also the dough itself has to be really round, and then smoothness and no things sticking out. And your hand is also clean. There's no leftover dough. That's the good thing. You have to check all clean. There's no extra dough here or sticky on your hand. So that's how you do that. After the cooking the fried rice, the same thing. After you cook the fried rice, when you pour that into plate, your wok has to be clean too. So there's no sticky. If you say that has to be something wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of a very.
I saw one of my cooks once. He's like, "I'm gonna make the stuff now. I'm gonna make some fried rice." I'm like, "Okay, cool." As soon as he starts, I'm like, "You're not putting the egg first?" He's like, "No." Like, when are you gonna put it? After, once I saute my rice. Like, okay, cool, all right. And then I see what he's doing, and his rice is all like wet and sticky, and I'm like, okay, so you like your fried rice wet? It's like, yeah, that's how I like it. I'm like, okay, well, I guess, it's a different style. But in my head, I'm like, you messed it up, man. Like, that's not how you make fried rice.
Yeah, fried rice is like the basic test, if you want to give some cook to test the skills. I guess like for Chinese cooking, I guess the fried rice is the first step. Let's see how you do fried rice, I guess, to have an interview, like to test this, like you are Chinese cook or something.
Yeah.
Like, the YouTube, like a famous one, Uncle Roger.
Yeah.
Uncle Roger, like every time you cook the colander, something use colander for that. I watched some of his shows. It's so funny.
Yeah, super funny. Yeah. That character is amazing. Yeah. If I need to.
Oh, great. Yeah. You have to go?
Yeah, I have to go. Man.
Okay, great. And we can wrap this up.
Yo, it was great. I was happy to finally
owner to owner. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wish you the best, because I think your restaurant is great.
Thank you. And your restaurant is way better. When I saw that kind of, because the Google Map review, sometimes they could be a little bit tough, and then you get so many great. That's almost the first time I told you, probably that's maybe the only one, very top, very few in whole Montreal. Like, you can have that kind of the rating on the Google Maps. That's probably you're the number 1 or number 2.
No, well, I think we created the community that just really likes the way we approach either the food or the way we communicate with our clients. That's very important.
Yeah, and also how to. I'm not good at with the names. How to say the restaurant name properly?
La Belle Tonki.
Yeah,
La Belle
Tonki.
Tonki.
So there's no S at the end, so it's a French silent.
No, exactly.
Just Tonki.
Tonki.
Okay.
Because it's a
the beautiful.
Yeah, Tonkinoise. That's the original. Because La Tonkinoise is
Tonki. How to spell?
Tonki.
Okay.
Tonki, because it's from the word Tonkinoise.
Yeah.
It's not even a real word. It's just Tonkinoise is like I said earlier.
La Belle. Yeah, I know that my friends.
La Belle is like the beautiful. Yeah. And La Belle Tonkinoise was my partner's mother.
Wow.
Yeah, she's La Belle Tonkinoise. She's the original. She's a very beautiful woman. Yeah.
Great. So great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.